Welcome back to Color Class. I'm Sarah, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the differences between a soft spring and a clear spring. Now, you're probably like, what in the world is a soft spring? Well, soft springs do not exist, for lack of a better term, until we get further into a larger palette system. So past the 12 palette system, that's when we start hearing about soft springs using those 6 dominant characteristics. And then we also are going to be talking about a lot of people get designated as a clear spring who don't technically fall into that category, but because some seasonal systems don't have such a wide array, they kind of get forced into that system. So I'm going to be showing you those type of people and who can kind of switch over to a different palette to become more precise. And we're going to get you into a better palette that's a little bit more rounded for that. So stay tuned, but before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So if you've ever been told you're a spring, you're probably getting a little bit more excited. You're trying to dive more into the world of springs. Well, if you're looking at the 4 palette system, a spring is light and warm. And then we move further deeper into those 6 dominant characteristics. So a spring can be a light spring, they can be a clear spring, they can also be a warm spring, and then we open it up a little bit more, going into a larger palette system, you can have a soft spring. Those typically don't exist till a wider palette, and that's why we're going to be talking about them and all the other springs today. Now I'm going to start off with what these two have in common. So a clear spring and a soft spring, they're both warm. And they're both light. The thing that differentiates them as a dominant characteristic of clear or soft. Now these shades are going to be a little bit more fresh. When we think of the springtime, we think of those bright, beautiful flowers blooming. And it's the same with the shades. And I always think those like Kelly green spring leaves coming out. Those stay the same. We're just going to be looking, are they going to be more high contrast or are they going to be softer? So that dominant characteristic is where everything changes. So I'm going to start off with a soft spring. A soft spring is neutral leaning warm. So you're kind of in that middle area leaning to the warmth side. Now a clear spring has that vivid, intense warmth in their coloring, but a soft is a little bit more delicate. It's a little bit more neutral than a typical spring. They are blended. They are lower contrast. The shades are going to be a little bit more muted, and they're still going to stay light to medium depth, because when we talk about soft, we talk about that ishy. So the hair is going to be like goldenish, brownish, blondish. You don't just have golden blonde hair. You have all these different tones coming out, and they can range from light to medium. So your range is going to be from light to medium in depth. So we're going to be talking about those like peachy beiges. We're also going to be talking about more muted teals within this palette. Soft coral, warm roses, creamy aquas. They are going to fall in this slightly more muted category. Now, we're not going completely gray. We're just giving them a little dusting, a little sugar coating, like we say. The vibe is still fresh, but it's gentle. It's more of a soft, radiant color scheme. So if you've ever been designated as a spring, you go to put on those really bright, bold shades and you think, this feels like a costume more than harmonious with me. It's probably because you need to soften it a little bit. You need to come down a little bit more and mute those shades. Those colors are just going to be a little too overwhelming for you. They're going to arrive in the room before you do. And another way to put that soft, ishy feeling is there's no sharp separation between like the eyes, the hair, the skin. If you think about somebody who's very high contrast, they have really piercing eyes, very radiant, intense skin. It like glistens really intensely. Their hair, it just radiates. There's a lot of separation between all those coloring. But with somebody who's a little bit softer, we're going to have a more blended skin tone or blended hair, blended eyes coming together, muting it, creating that softness. But now we're going to flip over and go to those clear springs. While you're still warm, you're also very bright. You got that high contrast and clarity. Your shades are still light to medium in that range. Those really clear corals, bright turquoise, those warm reds, and of course golden yellow, really pigment rich coloring. The vibe is still fresh. The vibe is also going to be vibrant. You are sparkling, you're lively. All of your shades have a punch to them, and your eyes really tend to pop. So you can wear those more intense colors that pop out to match the contrast with your eyes. Now we've talked about the difference between soft and a clear spring. I want to talk about where the confusion kicks in. I'm warm, I'm light, I must be a spring, and I like to wear these very vibrant colors, spring shades. Well, a lot of people don't know about that soft spring palette. While the colors are still fresh and vibrant, they're just slightly brought down. And a lot of it can have to do with texture. So if you are wearing a very bright, bold pink color, but it's maybe a wool texture, that's going to soften it enough for a soft spring to wear. So yes, you still get those beautiful shades. It just needs to be slightly dusted down. I want to talk about somebody else who gets designated as a clear spring, who happens to have depth that doesn't match clear spring category. So this person usually tends to have warm skin tone, very vibrant, like we talked about with the clear springs. It's radiant, it's gorgeous, it's warm, it's rich. But what happens is this person has jet black hair. So now they can wear these high contrast shades, but there is another half of the palette that they can't wear because of the depth that they carry. So we have created a whole separate palette for you. So if you are somebody with like golden rich skin tone that's very warm, but your hair is jet black and you fall more medium to deep range, we have an entire palette built for you. I always have to say, color analysis was designed for Northern European women. That's how it was originally created. But because that does not account for a majority of the world, we need to start including every skin tone, every hair color, whether it's light, whether it's deep, whether it's warm, whether it's cool, and anywhere in between. That's why we focus so much on those middle grounds, because somebody can be medium depth, they can be balanced in between warm and cool, and they can sit in between soft and clear in that mid contrast territory. So where do they fall in color analysis? Well, a 4 seasons or a 12 or a 6 palette system will have to force you. Unlike us, where we can look at your dominant characteristics, build palettes that fall right in those territories that color analysis has always left out. I'm just going to have our link down in the description below if you would like a custom color analysis done by Lucinda and I. So your side-by-side breakdown. One side, we have those soft, lower contrast, blended features with that muted warmth, soft glow. On the other side, that clear spring side, we have the higher contrast, the defined features, the bright warmth, the sparkling clarity. Us softies, we are more delicate within the world, while those very clear people are more vibrant in the world. So it's just a different color. There is no one is better than the other. They both look fantastic wearing the right shades. And I also want to know if you are a soft spring down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Now, a couple more things before I leave. Don't forget, you can head on over to Patreon. We'd love to chat with you there. You can also find us on all of our socials down in the description below. So thank you for joining me today. Lastly, I'm Sarah. This has been another color class, and I'll see you in our next video.